One, and we're going live now. Good morning, everybody. Hey, it is Trader, and boy, have we got a surprise for you because joining myself and New All Americas here at the T1 Radio Studios are your media partners for the weekend. We have from Krypton Radio, Mr. Fuzzball Ortega.
Hello.
From Korean Whip Radio, Brett Bertolucci, who is having a little problem right now. I'm not sure, Brett, if you're back in the call or not. Brett?
Yes, I am. Good morning,
There he is. Good morning. And you've seen them all, and now you get to hear, well, you get to hear them too, from AView TV's Telethon, Metaverse Broadcasting, and a whole lot of other great shows. We have Mr. Elrik Merlin.
Hello.
Hello, Elrik. Mal Burns.
Hi, Trader. Good to be here.
Good. Nice to have you here. And one of the most distinguished members of our panel this morning, a 9-year participant in Relay for Life, none other than RacerX Gullwing. Hey, Racer.
Hey, I'm the bunny.
The bunny, yeah, you can't miss Racer. He's the big bunny. You know, I have news for you. Back in 2009, Racer, I don't know if you know this, we were honored guests at the National Relay for Life Summit, and we had videos going and everything, and you were featured in that video. I mean, what else says Relay for Life here than Racer at some point? The snails, and you've been doing this a long time.
I'm very popular.
Yes, you are, and and distinguished,
and modest,
and absolutely hard to miss.
Yes, people remember me.
I must say, I think that Racer's done enough snail race to make up a whole telethon of his own, just benefiting Relay. So great stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He would rival some of the reruns we have here on American TV. Oh, everybody's all set for today?
Well, as set as you can be. We've got huge amounts of documentation that we can pour over, and vast multicolored spreadsheets, and volumes of information, background information, and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be fine, and we're very much looking forward to it. High point of the year, really, in many ways.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just say I'm trying to avoid all that documentation and focus on mixing cameras in the live stream studio.
Are you avoiding? You're avoiding being on camera this year, Mel?
No. I said I'm avoiding the documentation.
Oh, I see. I was going to say you're hiding.
Yeah.
What does television have in mind for today? I mean, you want to give us a little sneak preview of what they can see?
Well, oh Lord, I've got a bell ringing. Never mind. Sorry, this always happens. Ignoring it.
Of course.
Right. Yes, we have a lot of pre-recorded interviews. Trackside, we will be going out trackside with a lot of interviews while we're live. We have a news desk, which Elrik will tell you more about, I'm sure. And we have a nice studio with a couch where we'll be doing sort of on-the-spot interviews as well. So that, together with slideshows and various other clips that we'll be filling the space with, we should have more than enough to keep people happy and raise a lot of money, hopefully.
Yeah, we're definitely encouraging people to come down and use the kiosks and join in basically any way they can. We've been doing this for a few years now, and we've kind of settled on a kind of standard format for it, where we, as Mal says, mix in the pre-recorded material, and we've definitely been going out of our way to capture quite a lot of that this year. And then also we have our anchor desk, where we will be doing a lot of the live coverage and cutting from there to people up the track side and interview segments and live interviews and stuff like that. So should be really cool. And what we are doing more of, which is great, is that we've been invited to sort of participate in a number of ways in the actual aspects of the ceremonies and stuff ourselves, which is great, and we're very, very pleased to do that. This is kind of it's our major thing that we all us TV broadcasters, or as many of us as are involved, get together at this time of year. There's a huge amount of planning that goes into it for quite a few months before the event, and it's really very much where we all come together and work together as a media community and try and support the best of all possible causes in the world.
Well,
And there's a tiny snail race at 3 p.m. There's a tiny snail race at 3 p.m.
Yay!
Yay! And we're gonna have that live on television.
Yes, that'll be live.
You know, we're gonna have to try and get over there, Noala.
I hope you do.
Yes, we are.
You know, this year,
I love that.
yeah, I've tried it once and I ended up drowning my snail, and you know, I just gave up. It's not easy, is it, Racer?
It's fun to watch too.
You
don't have to race, but you can come and donate money and watch the race. It's a great time.
Well, that's the bottom line: is come and donate money. If you have any lindens left in your pocket before this weekend is out, this group here sitting on the chairs here at the studio, we fully intend to take every linden left.
No linden left behind. Yeah.
Yes. I like that. That could be our new slogan. We have a new program this year too here with the media partners, and two of our media partners are joining us today: Krypton Radio and Gurian Whip. It's part of the effort to. We are the biggest event in Second Life. I like to say we're the biggest virtual event of all time. I do not know of one bigger. I think I challenge somebody to prove us wrong, and it would only give us a target to continue to reach further in the future. But by inviting Gurian Whip Radio, Krypton, SL Live, Basel, we're hoping that we can expand beyond the usual Relay for Life community, expand the information that we're doing, the support of the American Cancer Society, plus all the programs that are available, not only here in the United States, but the global initiatives in the American Cancer Society. So I wanted to talk to you, Fuzzball, and Brett, about your participation. We're going to be doing a simulcast. Both radio stations will be on the Relay for Life radio and on their own radio stations at the same time. That's a first.
It is. Yeah, I'm very excited about it at Gurian Whip Radio. We've been working very hard all year with our own team, and to be able to be a part of something like this is really exciting for us.
Yeah, so is Krypton. It's just it was a matter of getting the right schedule in so we don't interfere with the regular lunacy that we have on during the But we got it all worked out, and we're very excited about this.
I know that Noel and I are excited about it too, because we've been working on this for months. Actually, the idea came up last fall, and we met with steering committee and tried to come up with a way to do it. And we're crossing our fingers that it works, guys. You guys got your hamsters all fed. You're ready to.
Oh yeah, we've got them all ready to go, and we have the engines purring. So.
All right. What's everybody? What are your thoughts as we approach? First of all, 10 years. Can you imagine this is the 10th year?
No. It's marvelous. It's marvelous that it's 10 years. It's really great, and bigger and better every year, and I hope more and more effective as a method of helping to raise money for the fight against cancer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the other thing that's interesting is that Second Life itself is only 11 years old. So, you've been here since the beginning, really.
I know. I mean, even in 2004, it wasn't Relay for Life, but there was a fundraiser. 2005, of course, was the first Relay. I'm going to bounce a couple of numbers off of you all, and I want to get your reaction to it. Since, and thank you, Jamie Broken Industries, who has kept track of all this from the very first steps taken in those sims, in 2005, in the sandbox sims. 10,786 avatars, individual avatars, have walked the track. 192 million meters. That's halfway to the moon.
Yeah, we figured that out last night.
Yeah, we took
There
a little
goes the
while.
moon.
Yeah, it's like Trader put out the calculator, and I'm going Google.
What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing. I mean, even to think of the growth from day one till today, and just going back to what you said about inviting the media partners and the potential for hopefully growing this even larger and larger in the upcoming years it's amazing to me. I know one of the reasons why I do it is I'm hoping to see a cure before I go, and if we keep going, the assistance that we're giving to the American Cancer Society is just incredible, and to think that we're increasing these numbers every year like this is just amazing to me.
This year we have over 80 countries participating. Now, of course, it is the American Cancer Society, but take that backwards one step. The American Cancer Society is the largest non-governmental organization supporting cancer research and support for caregivers and survivors around the world. They have given grants in Africa, in India, in the Middle East, in South America. They're working in the Philippines to support women's cancer issues and throughout the world to help fight tobacco use and to get better control of tobacco as a healthcare issue. They've joined with the United Nations, with the World Health Organization, the Non-Communicable Disease Alliance, and numerous non-governmental organizations around the world. While, again, it does say American Cancer Society on that sign, it is the biggest international effort when it comes to cancer. You guys represent several countries here, sitting here right now. We've got Canadians, we've got people from England. And how many other people on your teams are from other countries or in your organizations?
We've
we span Australia through to the UK and just about every outpost in the US. I think we may have, we've got other people connected with us who may be dropping in. But it's pretty extensive. The time zones are a complete nightmare.
Yeah, an ongoing nightmare for every program we ever do. It's very interesting to me that in fact, if I remember correctly, and I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe that Britain was the first country outside the US to run a Relay for Life in real life. I believe this to be true, but it's certainly a big multinational thing now, and it's in over how many countries is it? 83? I can't remember. Did you say this a moment ago?
In Second Life, there's more than 80 countries. There's 22 countries outside of the United States that hold relays.
Okay.
And we have the list somewhere, but UK. It's either the UK or Canada who held the first one. I'm not quite sure. Nuala might want to claim Canada.
Well, I think we would support our former Dominion. I think.
I don't know. I think we should just claim Second Life as our country.
It is getting a bit like that, actually, isn't it? Because and we're so used to having to deal with multiple time zones and working out times where we can see everybody. Like when we're doing our regular programs, we time them so that we can talk to people in Japan or to people in Australia or whatever it might be. And that's one of the things that makes this particular virtual world so special, is that we're coming together from all over the world in support of one major cause.
I agree 100% on that, Elrik. And when you think about it, if we were to try and accomplish this in the organic world, thank you, Mal, we probably would be dealing with bureaucracy, plus political and religious and other issues. I don't know if we could actually accomplish what we do here.
No, I think, Second Life, I think one of its great things over and beyond fundraising, for example, is diplomatic outreach and things like that. You can cross cultures here. And because you're sort of protected partly by degrees of anonymity, sorry about that. There's endless potential. You can you walk into very strange cultures and things like that, and you're on a sort of common meeting ground, and you're sort of welcomed, and vice versa. So I think it's very important.
Now, there was something that, again, while we do cross culture, we do cross borders. There are times when little things seem to set everything on ear. For example, we were discussing this year's goal here in Second Life is $401,000 US. We're very close to that, by the way, with over 381,000 in the bank so far. But the whole idea behind it was 401k. Now, in the United States, 401k is the chapter of the tax code that allows people to set aside a certain proportion of their income each year towards a retirement fund.
Very cool.
It's tax-free. The comment came up during an interview with someone. They said, "Oh yeah, this year's goal is 401k, a retirement plan for cancer." And somebody said, "Well, where do you come up with 401k?" And I don't recall who it was. It was someone from the UK. And it was, "Well, that's our retirement plan." And they said, "Oh, really? We call it retirement." Pension.
Yeah, right.
I must admit, that was completely lost on me.
Well, hopefully now everyone understands where we're coming from. We have this propensity here for acronyms.
Well, that one's actually a really clever one, or even if it went over some people's heads, and it's not terribly surprising. But one thing that I think is particularly fascinating is that we're talking about these significant amounts of money in real US dollar terms, and they are, by and large, I'm sure the vast majority of them are raised by millions of microtransactions by residents all over the grid.
Well, I've yet to get a confirmation on this, but we've always estimated the average donation is 100 lindens, which is 40 cents US.
Exactly.
How many of those does it take to add up to 95 million linden dollars, or 401,000 US dollars? It's just...
Well, the mind boggles, doesn't it?
It also opens
Google.
up... Yeah, there you go. You want to work on that, Fuzz?
No. I had a headache last night just talking about halfway to the moon. Don't worry about it.
Well, by the time we're done, we're going to be to the moon and back.
Well, yeah, the way we're going, though, you're talking about halfway to the moon, the way we're going, we'll get to the moon real shortly, and then next destination is Mars, so...
And it's, of course, actually the 45th anniversary of the first manned moon landing, isn't it?
That's right. That'll be tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Later tonight. It's amazing where we have come in 45 years. One of the things that I read recently was mankind has seen 95% of all inventions in the last 50 years. And that's from the beginning of time. Medicine. 100 years ago, cancer wasn't even spoken of. It was consumption. It was well, not consumption. It was they're going to die. That's all it was. You didn't even tell a patient if you were a doctor. How did you tell them that they were about to die, that there was nothing you could do? Today, we are beating 2 out of 3 cancers. And that's in 100 years. Where will we be in just a few more years? We're on such an edge of a breakthrough. And you mentioned the moon landing. I remember it being in my car, listening to the descent to the lunar surface with my 80-year-old great-grandmother, who first, when she was a young woman, a young girl, rode in a horse and buggy. And here, imagine how she must have felt listening to voices coming from the moon. That's how we're going to feel when that news comes out, that they've unlocked that last secret, that they have the answer to all cancers.
I think we live in, exciting times here because one of my sidelines, it's my main line actually, is to scan news, not just about the metaverse, but, technology and the future of interfacing and stuff. And I read so many reports from sites like Kurzweil site about microbiology, and they're actually developing these things that will just work in our bodies and run around the system killing the cancer cells. And, we can't be far away from an advanced solution now that's going to take care of all this.
No, it's coming. It is on that horizon, and when you think about it, we collect that 40 cents at a time, and it's not going to be the mega dollar donation that does it. It's going to be all those little 40-cent donations that put together that one grant that allow that one scientist who finds the answer to have gotten that support and that funding. And that's why we're doing so much, so important. I just had somebody sent me a message say we have had approximately, in order to reach $400,000, we need 1 million transactions of 40 cents each. Now, it's probably more somewhere in the 700,000 to 800,000 transactions, but think about that.
One of the funniest things when we're doing the telecom, sorry, Elrik, Elvis, you should have wanted us to do it actually, is we get to this point where we look at the scoreboard and, we read out the total lindens, and then we get the dreadful thing that happens on television, which is silence. Because somebody is then having to calculate what those lindens are in real money. And it's an ongoing mathematical... It's an ongoing mathematical struggle, but there we go.
Now, an interesting thing to bear in mind is, hello, it sounds to me as if we've been joined at least in concept by Safia.
Hello, Safia.
I joined you in virtuality.
Yes.
Goodness me. How nice to hear from you.
It's very nice to hear from all of you. Okay, I shall hop over.
We'll see you in just a moment. And but in the meantime, the thought struck me that that we're talking about all these millions and millions of microtransactions, and in fact they have to do several jobs too, because although we might think of there being a sort of path to one solution to cancer, I bet you that it's actually loads of solutions. I bet you that there need to be different approaches for different types of cancer, and there's also the big question, which I think is particularly important, is it seems to me that one of the big keys that has lengthened people's lives, lengthened the lives of cancer sufferers over recent years, is the ability to detect it earlier. And whether or not there are brand new breakthroughs which make it possible to knock them out completely, I'm sure that the ability to detect things early, and not only the ability to detect them early, but actually making that ability available to people at large, I think is extremely important. It's got to go beyond privileged people who can afford special healthcare or anything. It's got to be available to everybody.
Well, I think that's part of what the American Cancer Society is doing with their global initiatives. Is they're making this, which is available to developed nations, to the United Kingdom, to Canada, to the United States, and to some of the more industrialized and financially developed nations. But it's also making it available in Zambia, and in Kenya, and in areas where people need a little more help. It's not general. Healthcare isn't available on a regular basis in these countries. We're providing for palliative care and providing information, and the Relay for Life is coming to all these countries too, because people see that it's not just a fundraiser, it's a community effort.
And it's prevention as well as cure. To a great extent, when you're talking about those countries and things where the incidence of cancers are much higher, a lot of the work is, aiming to provide an environment where it can be prevented a lot more.
For example, ranging from encouraging people to stop smoking to cleaning up aspects of the environment which may be contaminated and stuff like that.
Water is one of the big issues.
Yeah.
Clean water. I mean, so much water. We take it for granted. You open the tap. Maybe you put a filter under there, but you open the tap and you fill a glass. You can't do that in so many vast areas of the world. What kind of disease are they dealing with? But we are so close, and you just know it as we get. It's a combination of early detection, the screening processes that have been put in place that make people more aware that they need to go get that colonoscopy or that exam, that breast exam, and so many other physical examinations that are detecting these things earlier. It's also the science is allowing us to look deeper and deeper into the cell and to see the interaction of different particles inside the cell. What is it that causes that gene to mutate, that takes that white blood cell and turns it into a leukemia cell? What is it that takes that lung tissue to mutate to become a cancerous tumor? And we're starting to find that out. And that's where the key is. I've had this discussion with a couple of people in the medical field, and they say that it's all going to come down to genetics because there's so many different cancers, but the basic mutation is what we need to find. What is the cause of that?
All right.
And, of course, that will affect so many other illnesses as well.
Oh, once we open that door, we may actually see the ability to extend life far beyond our current about 80-year longevity. Of course, that raises the other question of what we're going to do with everybody.
Yes.
And how we're going to get them water.
Well, yes, absolutely. And a few other things as well.
We're on our way to Mars now, aren't we? Bit of terraforming.
Not going to find much water there. But...
No. Well, there might be some underneath, I suppose. But
yeah, there is some underneath, I gather, but whether it's drinkable.
But to be realistic, that's not where the answers are going to lie, I think, for the vast majority of people who will be here and in a world which will get progressively more difficult to manage as it warms up, for example, and we'll need to do a lot more work on a huge number of scientific fronts be able to keep pace with everything that's going to be happening, good and bad.
Before it's getting close to that time when we all have to run to our respective green rooms, etc. But before we do wrap this up, first of all, it's always so much fun to have you guys here, and I'm glad we started this tradition. Look forward to doing it again and again. All of you come from diverse areas, not only in the virtual world, but the organic world. What is it that brings you all together to take part in this event? Why don't we start with you, Racer?
Racer's silent.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go with you, Mal.
I was going to say I missed the question. I was typing stuff.
I was going to say what?
How dare you?
Again,
Slap wrists.
We come from such diverse backgrounds into our virtual world, but in both our virtual and our organic realities, we come from so many different directions. What brings you together? What brings you to this event? What makes this event so important that you come back every year?
I'm here for the fame.
You already have that.
I'll start with that. This is Brett from the Gorian Whip. I don't think we're as diverse as you're saying. I think that deep down we're all the same. We're human beings, and we have compassion, and we have love, and we have feelings. And for me, it's a way of being involved in something larger than I am. And to be able to be a part of something so incredible. We were talking earlier about how worldwide this is. The participants in Second Life, how diverse we are and where we come from. And the fact that we can all come together for one single cause, to me, is just brilliant.
Well said. Who wants to jump next? Mal? It's hard to follow that one.
Put him on, exactly. Put him on the spot. Do.
Well, it's a general thing for me. This, I've got all these skills from way back when. This is occupational therapy for me these days. But the promoting the virtual world and everything else is, and the possibilities of it are foremost in my mind. And there are plenty of people doing other things, but when it comes to chat shows and non-profits and charities and stuff like that, education, those areas that need support is sort of the thing I just jump into and offer skills where I've got them to help. I have no reason to be running around sort of doing the commercial stuff, as it were. So I am directed towards that. It's just a joy to be able to say, oh yeah, well I can take care of that for you, and get together with a team and do it. That's it.
Well, that's very much a key, isn't it, actually, is the getting together with a team. And one of the joys for me of being in Second Life since 2007 has been the marvellous people I've met, become friends with, worked with, and done stuff with. And I'm very conscious of the fact that all over the grid we're all coming together to make this particular event possible, and it makes me really proud to be a part of it. I actually received a little thing that I subscribed to, sent me a little picture and some words the other day in the post, and I actually sent it to Sapphire and Ash, who obviously I work with on designing worlds. But it's very relevant, I think, and the text with it was this. It said, "Someday the light will shine like a sun through my skin, and they will say, 'What have you done with your life?' And though there are many moments I think I'll remember, in the end, I'll be proud to say I was one of us."
Oh, yes. Very nice.
That is lovely. That is lovely.
Anybody else want to share their reasons?
I think I go back to about the 2008 relay, when Treat, I'm not sure if it was their first telethon or their second telethon. It was certainly the first I was involved in. And I was just completely blown away. I was blown away by the teams, by the spirit, by the groups coming together and working together with a common purpose. So many completely diverse people drawn together by just this one cause. And it showed me the power, what power can lie in a virtual world, what power can lie in reality as well as virtual world, but how the virtual world can make it easier for us to connect and to share. I've been going around this year and looking at the campsites, and there's so much knowledge here and so much support for people, and it's tremendously moving even before we get to the moving ceremonies. Just seeing what's here, what people have created, what people have done. And I always say, when people say thank you for doing anything to connect to this relay, I say, and it's my privilege to be allowed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all paying it forward. I myself, being a survivor, for me, in 2005, when I first heard about this, there was no other option. Nuala, the Lady Elise Mysterio, and myself said, we need to do this, and we've been doing it since. It's part of our response. When I was growing up, I'm a child. I'm a flower child. I grew up in the 60s. I was a hippie, and we had a saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I don't want to be part of the problem. Well, I think is it that time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to start preparing? We are.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Start your engines.
Yeah.
By my calculation, we are an hour and 15 minutes away from Relay for Life of Second Life 2014, A Journey of Promise.
Very exciting.
I want to thank all of you for taking these few minutes out from your busy schedule. I know that everyone enjoys hearing and seeing you all. It's going to be a fantastic event. And it is my privilege and honor to share this this show with all of you, because all of you have played such a fantastic role in taking our relay from where it was in 2005 to where it is today and on into the future.
It's our privilege to be here too.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be involved and to be with you today.
Well, I look forward to seeing everybody out on the track. The tracks are open, by the way, and there's probably a lot of green dots showing up on the maps. I see. There goes Racer.
And there he was gone.
Racing off, as they say.
Oh, again, thank you all. Have a great telethon. Have great shows, and we'll wrap this up tomorrow afternoon. We'll probably have to try and get together again and see if
it's our turn to drag you into our studio tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Actually,
you just let me know when, and we'll come on over and we'll sit and chat. Maybe we can look back and see if it lived up to the expectations we all had going forward from to this point. I'm sure it will. We'll surpass them.
Yeah, sure we will.
So, well, thank you everybody, and have a great relay.
Go relay, absolutely.
Go relay.
Go relay in chorus, absolutely.
One,
two, three. Go
relay!
I think that's what they call a ragged chorus.
Well, it's actually Skype latency, me dear.
There you go. We did our best. All right. See you all later.
Yeah.
Have a great day. And we're clear.